Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be how to create the perfect skin. So it's Sunday today and on Friday I was working at London's men's collections, which is basically men's fashion week. So this was for autumn winter 17 and the show that I did was really focused on skin and how we prepped the skin. It was keyed by Rebecca Butterworth, who's a MAC senior artist, and she's totally amazing. I will pop her Instagram down below so you can go and follow her because her work is really beautiful. Anyway, so during the show, while I was doing the makeup on my model, I was really thinking about the skin and how we were prepping it, and I was basically thinking to myself that so many people have amazing foundations and all the kit, but they're not really prepping their skin that well, or maybe as well as you should be, just to create the most perfect base. So if you like taking selfies or you just want your skin to look really flawless, I'm going to show you how to do that using some of my favourite products and techniques. Okay, so I've already exfoliated my skin, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on some of my Marine Bright Softening Lotion by MAC, which is this one here, and I'm going to put that on with a cotton pad. I'm just going to spray some on now. This is such an amazing product for anyone that has uneven skin tone or any dryness on the skin, and what this will do is it will just get rid of any unwanted texture or anything like that. So if you've got quite dry skin, or just like around the nose area, sometimes your makeup sits really badly. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just concentrating on the nose area. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply my Prep and Prime oil stick. Now, MAC have already got the Care Blend oils in the pot, and they've just brought out the Care Blend oil in stick formula, and I am absolutely in love with this. It's such a beautiful product. What I like to do with it is I just roll it over the skin like this. So once it's on the skin, I then take my hands and literally just massage that in. So your skin will look a little bit pink, like my colours become quite high because all the blood is rushing to the surface, which is a good thing because you want your skin to feel really hydrated and you want it to basically sit really nicely on the skin. Flawless skin really is about prep, and any makeup artist will tell you this. You can read numerous articles online about how makeup artists recommend you apply your makeup, and this is honestly the best way to do it. I'm really massaging this in, guys. You can do this for a couple of minutes or you can just do it quite quickly. I'm just going to take my time just really massaging it into my skin. Although the Care Blend oil obviously is an oil product, and a lot of you might be watching this thinking I've got really oily skin so I can't use that. You absolutely can use that. I would suggest maybe using a foundation on top of that. It doesn't have as much oil in it, or you could use a primer over the top, because even if you have oily skin, your skin can still get really dehydrated, but that is such a wonderful product to use. So that's basically just like massaged in really nicely to my skin. Okay, next product. I'm on a bit of a MAC trend today just because I am loving all of these new launches they've got. So the next one I'm going to use is the Strobe Cream. This is in the colour Peach Light, and it's just a beautiful product. It's really luminous. It's great under foundation, and it's just a really nice colour. I think I've mentioned this before in a previous video, but I really love this under makeup. So I'm just taking some and I'm gonna pop that over the top of my Care Blend oil. So I don't know if you can see that kind of glow that I've got, but this product is a godsend if your skin's dehydrated, if you've been out partying the night before and you've got up for work and your skin just looks really dull. This is a really good pick-me-up, and you can also mix it in with your foundation as well. Okay, so next you can either move on to your foundation, but I'm actually going to add another step in here, and I'm going to apply my Too Faced primer just to my nose and then just slightly onto my cheeks. The reason why I'm going to do this is because my pores really drive me crazy, and I feel like these almost make them look more blurred and minimalised, so that's what I'm going to use now. So I've got it here. So I basically just use like a tiny amount of this. I don't use much. That's how much I will use. It's just the size of a grain of rice, but I just like to apply this onto the cheeks slightly where my pores are most visible, and then just round the nose area, and then I just do between my brows. Okay, so the next step is foundation, and today I'm actually going to be using my L'Oreal True Match foundation. I use this in the shade 6N Honey. I love this foundation. You guys know how much I love this. I go on about it all the time, and I'm going to use this with my Beauty Blender sponge. I really do believe that your makeup looks completely flawless when you use a beauty blender. I love brushes as well, don't get me wrong, but I just feel for me, beauty blenders are what makes my skin look completely flawless. I understand this is a little bit darker than my natural skin colour, but I do have some fake tan on my neck, so I'm just matching it up to that. And what I like to do with my beauty blender is start on the outside of the face and basically work inwards. The coverage with this foundation is incredible, it really, really is. So you really don't need too much. Okay, so I've literally just finished blending my foundation, and I really like to spend some time really just buffing it in, even after you feel like you've got it all in place and you're happy with the coverage. I really just like to go over it just to really buff it in and make sure it's blended really, really well. That is all nicely blended, and now I'm going to move on to my concealer. Okay, so I'm going to use two different concealers today. First one I'm going to use is the Maybelline Instant Eye Eraser. I love this stuff so much. I'm still on the same one that I used way back about 3 months ago, I think, so it's lasted really well. And I'm just going to use a little bit of this just under my eye, and what I like to do is I do a slight V shape and bring it up. You don't want to go too light with your concealer though, because then that just looks too drag queen and it just doesn't look completely natural. So I go slightly lighter. So you can see I've just done both sides under there. And to blend that, I'm going to use my baby beauty blender, which is this one here, which I bought when I was in LA, and I love these so much. So I'm just going to blend that out now. So I've just blended it out, and then the second concealer I'm going to actually use is my Clé de Peau concealer, which is this one here, and this is in the shade Ivory, which is just a little bit lighter than the last one that I used, just a tad lighter. And I'm going to use this a little bit more just underneath the eyes, but more over to the top of the eye, just because I have some bags there that are just so stubborn, and I was drinking last night, which might be why they're not going. We actually went to London last night, which was really fun, with some friends, and woke up this morning not feeling very fresh. We actually went to a restaurant called Dishoom, which is like a really famous Indian restaurant in London, and the food is incredible there, so I highly recommend going. So yeah, so I'm gonna stop chatting now. Back to makeup. So I just applied a little bit into the inner corner of my eye, and then just slightly down the nose and on the cupid's bow of my lip, and I'm just going to blend that. Okay, so concealer is on and it looks really, really highlighted, which is what I want. I always like my makeup to look completely flawless and nicely highlighted. So I'm going to go on now to my bronzer slash contour, I guess. I've been really loving just using a bronzer at the moment, just to like give a little bit of definition to my cheekbones and then to warm my skin up a bit. So I'm going to use that now. I'm actually using the NARS bronzer. This is Laguna, and it's just one of my favourite bronzers ever. So this is it here. It's a really nice colour, and then I'm going to use a MAC 163 or 168 brush. I can't remember what this is called. I will link it below to do this. So I'm just picking some up on my brush. If you like cream contouring, this would be when you would do it now before you use any powder, because if you use a cream after you use powder, it tends to go really, really patchy. So get any kind of cream products out of the way first if you can, unless it's a highlighter, because highlighters are okay to use if you're applying them gently. Okay, so I'm just going to apply that now. Just going to go around the hairline as well. And when I go around the hairline, I kind of just take it up into my hair, because otherwise you're going to have like a great big gap between your hairline and then the skin around it. And then I'm just going to go under my chin. So in a way, I guess you could say that I was contouring a little bit, but I'm not really focusing just on the cheekbone. I'm bringing the product up slightly. Any of the excess I'm taking up. I like this because it just warms my face up a little bit. Now, just quickly while I'm doing this, I just want to say something. This is why when you're doing your bronzer or your contouring or whatever, it's so important that you exfoliate, because if you're not exfoliating your skin and you're applying your bronzer to your cheekbones, what can often happen is it can look really, really patchy and it just won't sit very well. So that's why it's really, really important to make sure you're exfoliating. Okay, next for blush, I'm going to use NARS Orgasm. This is a baby orgasm. How cute is this? My friend actually gave me this and I love orgasm blushes so much. So I'm just going to use this on the apples of my cheeks. I find any kind of colours that are a peachy or pinky colour really, really good for brightening up the skin, making your skin look a bit healthier and like you've had 8 hours sleep when you haven't. Smile, then apply. Okay, so I've just applied my bronzer and my blusher. Now, something that I am loving, and I mentioned this in my last video, is the Ambient Lighting Powder by Hourglass, which is in the shade Dim Light, which is this one here. And something that I like to do is I like to put my powder on after I have put on my bronzer, my blusher, my contour, anything like that. I will then put my powder on just before I start highlighting. If you are using a cream to highlight, then that's the way I would recommend it. But if you're using a liquid, you could also highlight and then powder afterwards. Now, this might seem a bit strange, but it totally works and it makes your skin so flawless and picture perfect. I can't even explain it. And this is my favorite thing to do. So take a brush, this is the 129 by MAC, it's quite a big powder brush, and I'm taking it into my powder, tap the excess off, and I'm literally going to blend everything in. And what this does is it just makes your skin look really, really blurred, so you can't see any harsh lines from where you've been contouring or anything like that. It just looks completely natural. And I'm also just setting my under eye concealer as well. So if you have a look at this cheek here and then have a look at this cheek, I feel like you can really, really tell the difference. This side just looks a lot more kind of natural, blurred, and you can still see the colours nicely, but this side just looks a little bit more harsh and it just looks like it needs to be blended. And I feel like even when I do spend extra time blending, it just doesn't look as flawless as this. So that's my favourite tip for you guys if you're after a new powder. I am loving this so much. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Cover FX custom enhancer drops, and this is in the shade Moonlight, and these are like liquid gold, guys. I got this for Christmas from my mum and honestly they're beautiful. I just want this to focus, please focus. So can you guys see that? So pretty. So anyway, I'm so obsessed with these, they're like mind-blowing. I'm gonna take just a tiny bit of this, put it on my hand. That's too much, you really don't need that much. That's how concentrated this is. So finger, dip it in to the liquid highlighter, and I'm gonna just place this along my cheekbone. And then I'm just gonna place a tiny bit on the Cupid's bow. There we go. And then finally, to finish off, I'm going to spray my skin with some Fix Plus. Now, I mentioned this in a previous video and I am actually going to do a video on this because it's my favourite makeup hack ever. But basically, this has got Vanilla and Melon Pigment in by MAC. What I do is I open it up, I pour a little bit of pigment in and I shake it up, and basically what it is it's like a highlighter in a setting spray, and it makes your skin just look gorgeous. So I'm just going to spray some setting spray to finish my makeup off. And that's it. So this is my finished look. So it's just a really, really flawless, skin focused makeup with a really nice coverage foundation. But again, it is all about the skin prep. I mean, my skin is glowing right now, and the reason why it's glowing is because of all that really good skincare underneath, the Strobe Cream, the Prep and Prime Essential Oil Stick. And what you want to do is you really want to spend some time massaging it into your skin and then putting your foundation over the top. And yeah, so I really hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you soon for another video. Take care. Bye.